Okay, so Ruth, you've sold your home, or you're in the process?
Yeah, I'm renting a studio now
Perfect.
in Denver.
Okay.
Close to work.
Yes.
What my plan was in this year, after getting out of my moldy condo,
Oh,
was
yes.
to kind of heal up and then try to figure out what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I know I've got the money right
Yes.
now to buy and build a tiny home.
Right.
But in the research that I'm doing, I don't know
Where to go land.
It's like
okay.
a huge thing. Do you build it?
Yes.
And then you go find a place?
Great. Okay, so this is perfect. So this is why I have the 3 steps to go tiny. First is envisioning.
Yeah.
What was your spark for why tiny? Well, condo being moldy, definitely get out of that.
Yeah, and the market where, like, my
Cash
place,
out.
Yeah,
Yep.
my place. I mean, everything's like 3 times as much as it was when I
Right.
purchased my condo.
Exactly. So you're as an investor, you made an investment,
And-
you did well.
Yep, and I already downsized because I'm living in a studio now.
Okay.
I got rid of a ton of stuff.
Yes. Release.
And I thought about doing some travel nursing. I'm a
Oh,
nurse.
wonderful. Okay.
I thought about that,
Yes.
but and I actually was thinking because of the mold, I'd just get into a van, but
Yeah.
that's not going to work for
It's
me.
healing is important.
I
That is
think
so
I want
important.
to have a place where I can be if I need to travel.
Sure.
I can leave the tiny home where it is, and I
Right.
can still travel and pay for it.
Okay.
With travel money, that's
Yep.
an option.
Yep.
The other option is to find a nice community or a piece of land where I
Okay.
can stay put and work in that area.
I'm hearing a number of options. What I like the most is that you're open.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when I hear people like, I want land, and that's it, and it's like, okay. So the challenge with land is most people have to become developers.
Yeah.
Because when you deal with raw land, you've got entitlements. That's what is like zoning. Every land is zoned, or if it's unrestricted, it's unrestricted. You name it. It's all got some application to the APN, your parcel number.
Right.
And so what I'm hearing though is you said community.
Yeah.
Would you entertain a community in Denver where you can go get the tiny home? There's enough to focus on the actual tiny home itself.
Yes.
Then
but I
go
don't want to
live.
be in a tiny little RV park. I
Okay.
want to be in a nice community where they're figuring things out.
Sure.
They got a little bit of space in between. each.
Yes.
Yes.
And are you looking in Colorado only?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so you're more open.
I'm open. My family's in Colorado.
Sure.
But my daughter's here. She's going to probably be having a couple of kids in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I'm actually open. I was telling him.
And when you say open, we got a big country.
I know.
So we do want to kind of,
Well-
target.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at a place in Arizona
Okay.
called Lux Tiny.
Yes. Lux Tiny.
It looks very nice.
Sure.
And I was thinking even West California.
Yes.
Or short of nurses out there.
There's east of San Diego. There's at least 2 communities out
Yeah.
there. More in the mountains. That will have some snow.
Right.
Everyone's got
And
a
that's
different
fine.
weather thing. You already know snow.
I already know snow. I've lived here all my life. Of course, I wouldn't mind a warm
Right.
community, but
Arizona, yeah. Well, and if you
that's in the
travel,
White Mountains, so
got it. That is colder.
That's going to be cooler, but
Okay.
it won't be 105 degrees also in
True.
the summer.
Very true.
Because at my age, I'm 63.
Sure.
I don't tolerate extremes that much.
Yeah.
anymore. So I'm pretty much open. I'm
So-
just sort of waiting. I'm researching and waiting for an
So
opportunity.
you've already envisioned.
Yes.
Then you've been planning. Obviously, acting. You're here.
I'm
you're
here.
getting
This is
information.
sort of-
This
yes.
is taking action.
My action right now has been researching on the internet,
Yes.
and then I saw this. There's another one
Yes.
in July.
Yes, we'll be there as
I'm
well.
going to be there.
All right.
So this is where I'm at. I'm
Okay.
in the research plan, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could build it.
Yes.
I can envision a beautiful little tiny home.
Yeah.
But I don't know where the hell I'm going
You're gonna put it. Yes, of course. So that would probably be. Let me ask you this: Would it feel more comfortable to find the land before you get the tiny home, or get the tiny home first and then find the land?
I don't know. Initially, I was thinking find the land and then get
Sure.
it. But then after I saw this first piece of land, I'm going, whoa, this is way too much. I mean,
yes.
it's a lot of work for
Yes.
this tiny little
True,
spot
true.
that I
Yep.
could afford.
Yep.
Like this little spot that was a third of an acre was
Yep.
89,000, and it was filled with trees.
Yeah.
Which I'd have to
You'd
like
have to
tear
deal
them
with.
down.
Sure.
I mean, it'd be a lot of work.
Most
Yeah.
properties are not like finely cultivated. They're more
Yeah,
like,
if I could
here,
find
buy
a
it.
really piece of land. But my sister-in-law is a real estate agent, and she's going, it's kind of a hot mess. There's a lot. Just do your research if you're really
Here's the
considering
other
it.
part. Do you want it on wheels? Because I heard movability in your conversation.
Well, I think it would be best to be on wheels,
Okay.
just because.
So let me stop you there. So
Okay.
with the wheels, the fact that you buy land, a lot of land in the zoning of the land
Right.
does not allow the home on wheels because there's 4 types of tiny homes. There's the movable tiny home, which is what you're seeing here.
Yeah.
Up to 400 square feet,
Yes.
but it's not a standard yet.
Right.
Is not seen in the eyes of
I know.
any building code whatsoever.
Yeah.
However, all of these movable tiny homes are being built to the park model ANSI standard. That is a
Yeah.
standard, but here's a little thing: temporary
Temporary
living.
living.
So that kind of throws us in this like, it's for temporary living. It's not allowed to be lived in full time, even though we know these things are built 2x4, 2x6 construction. Is it able to be lived in just like a physical? Yes, 100%. Is it allowed by law or regulations and all that? Unless you find unrestricted land. That is the little unicorn in the opportunity. But you have to find, usually unrestricted land is more rural, definitely rural.
Yeah.
Then you get into, so here's the line. All
Okay.
of these are made in a factory. This is the factory. However,
Yeah.
these two, when they're certified and built to state building code, I have a California thing here because I'm usually in California. But there'll be some energy code or whatever in Colorado. Then that can be built in a factory and brought to your property and placed on land on a permanent foundation. But those permanent foundations are like metal adjustable piers.
Yeah.
Think of homes that are on the ocean side. They have to be up on stilts,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So they don't have to be on a slab or concrete. Then finally, the last one is a national standard HUD. And that's where, you can put more, these two are more likely to be available. Now, I don't know of any builder here, just because I just ran through and said hi to a bunch of them,
Okay.
that are building to any of this standard. However,
Yeah.
Colorado just passed a historic law going into 2023 where you're going to have to make, to be more safe and affordable and efficient, there's going to be more control
I
on
knew there was going
off-site.
to be. I was just thinking about that. I go, pretty soon there's going to be all kinds of rules and regulations on these things.
Well, because these festivals have been happening for 5 years, and these tiny homes have been being built, and
Exactly.
everything's been under the radar.
Yes.
And now they're like, sorry, we can't. No, the good news is Simplicity Tiny Homes just worked with the legislators
I
to
was looking at this
develop
stuff. I'm gonna go
the
buy it.
right thing. So
Okay.
Byron with Simplicity is a great one to talk about.
Okay.
This is another one to take a look at. The model tiny house legislation with the ICC and the Tiny Home Industry Association just happened, where you're going to focus on more of getting tiny homes, more approved across, and that's what this is. This
Okay.
right here is
Yeah.
these 2 pages.
Okay.
This is good information to understand if you're ever needing to go to your local jurisdiction, your municipality, to say, hey,
Okay.
IRC. So I would QR code that.
Okay.
This one just happens to be language in California where they're allowing both a home as an ADU, a movable tiny home as an ADU, cluster development, and on standalone property.
Okay.
So it's not Colorado,
Yeah.
but the fact that that language exists. So all of this is a lot of education, a lot of research,
Yeah.
but it's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing.
And if you're going in the direction of land, you got to know all this.
I don't even know. I don't know if I'm going in the
But
direction of
I would
land.
say initially, take it easy on yourself. You're
Yeah.
healing. You're doing a lot. Focusing on the tiny home and an RV park, maybe it's not the most ideal RV park you're going to be in forever.
Yeah.
You don't have to be there forever. But being there for, okay. So Flying Saucer RV Park in the middle of Denver, this couple that was just here, $600 a month, live there. And they're pretty wide. They have like 100 sites. They have a river right behind
Yeah.
it. They're next to like Regal Cinemas and Costco and all that. It may not be the thing you're going to do forever. But if it's something that can get you in your tiny home, landed, and then you can focus on the land, then you're already living in your home, and prices aren't really going down on tiny homes. They're just,
Right.
because the material prices, we're all impacted by that industry. So that's my, you have your own. This is kind of like a reloop. Once
Yeah.
you take an action, you learn more,
Yeah.
you go back into envisioning and run through. And
Right.
you can go through a number of cycles on doing that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's figuring out, you've already got that checked off. Land is the biggest question, but the land and the tiny home will impact each other.
Yeah, but then you're talking about what you initially said was, well, when you're dealing with land, you really pretty much have to have a foundation. But if I've got one on wheels...
No, so there's homes, as long as they're built here, they can come on wheels, and then they're set.
And then they're set.
And the way the homes are set, there's a certain contractor that actually
you
sets
mean
these
that's
homes.
after, like, I've been in an RV camp for 3 years.
Exactly. Now,
like then
if you get a too big of a home, you're not going to be moving that around a lot.
No.
You want a small enough home built under these certifications that they may apply. Now, the other thing about land, one more little, didn't make this up, it's just what exists. A lot of jurisdictions have minimum house size requirements. If you're going to buy land, put a home on it, you have to put 600, 700, 800 square feet, 1,000 square feet. And now that takes you away from the tiny home on wheels, because you can go up to 400 on wheels.
This is what I was like not wanting to get anything smaller than this.
Okay.
I wasn't going to get
the biggest one here is the Wilder-Wise, which is stacked up to close to 295 square feet, and it goes up 2 levels. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Was that a good run through to kind of learn a little bit more? Okay, good.
It was helpful. Is that the only RV park that you know of right now?
That one I just learned about yesterday because I'm not, but it really is picking up the phone. Yes, it's picking up the phone, asking these RV parks, hey, do you allow? Oh, there's one in Salida, and there's a Durango. Now the Durango, there's a lot of people eyeballing the Durango. Get your name on the list.
I was actually going to drive by.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, go and check out, right? This is the time of, right, envisioning, planning, then taking action. Going out and driving, taking a look at the flying saucer. Yeah. I just learned about it yesterday. The one in Salida. These are all things.
I saw that the other day too.
Yeah. And I wish there were more. That's part of what I need to work with investors to really build. But remember, it's development. Development is tricky. Yeah. It's got to be... most developers won't even touch anything unless they're making 20% ROI. Yeah. Because it takes too much time.
Well, this guy that I saw when I was kind of researching tiny communities at like Tiny in Arizona, he said it was the hardest thing he'd ever done.
Exactly. And so we're going to just look at the camera for a moment here. Did you just hear? Hardest thing they've ever done. Most communities that I know of, 2 to 4 years to just work with the cities to get the officials, because we are really a culture of like, no trailer park. And a lot of people think these are still trailers, but we are changing the stigma of the trailer, because these are not trailers. It's trailer from the chassis down and tiny home from the chassis up. So it's all about chassis and education, envisioning, planning, acting. And if you're ever questioning where you're at in the whole process, come check out thetinyhomelady.com. We are launching the Go Tiny Academy August 1st, or it's already launched if you're watching this after August 1st, because it is so important to help people figure out the process and find like kind of the area which is causing them the most challenge and solve that and find pathways and avenues so that you can realize your tiny home dream. All right, everyone, check it out, thetinyhomelady.com.